Okay guys, I'm gonna give you a live representation of what your brand is gonna look like if you're not utilizing TikTok in 2022. So to ensure that doesn't happen in today's video, I'm gonna make you understand why you need to start making this transition into the TikTok platform, as well as how you can do it profitably. Let's get on into it. Okay guys, so to get this video started, I wanted to go through and really have you wrap your head around how much engagement and really momentum TikTok has coming behind it as we lead into this new year. So to start this video off, let's go through 10 mind-blowing facts about TikTok. Number one, which is actually pretty crazy, as of 2021 in Q4, TikTok surpassed Google as the most visited website in the world. So I'm actually going to repeat that because I think it needs to be said, right? TikTok surpassed Google and had more visits as of Q4 in 2021. Just shows how much engagement that they're driving to their website every single month. I think that's mind-blowing. So number two is actually a pretty cool one as well. And it's actually going to be the fact that TikTok users on average consume upwards of 26 hours of content every single month, right? As opposed to YouTube users who are averaging anywhere from around 15 to 16 hours a month of content. It's insane to think that TikTok, just on the average side, not even on the high end of users, people are consuming over a day's worth of content every single month. Number three being TikTok actually surpassed over 1 billion monthly active users, which is pretty mind-blowing to think about how much momentum, like I said, they have coming into 2022. And number four is they actually surpassed over 3 billion downloads across the App Store and all ecosystems, which is the first non-Facebook ecosystem app to ever do so. So outside of Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, TikTok is the only app to have ever reached over 3 billion downloads. Okay, now getting into some pretty cool shopping statistics, which is actually going to be number five. 47% of users say over this past year they bought something that they saw directly on TikTok, which is pretty crazy to think from an advertiser's perspective, which leads me on to number six, which is 66% of users were inspired to shop even when they had no initial intention to do so. Meaning when people were just going on their phones, scrolling through TikTok on a regular day-to-day basis, the type of content that they were seeing, the user-generated content, was making them want to buy things when generally they had no intention to do so. Okay, so leading me into number seven, which is a pretty cool one from an advertiser's perspective. Again, 77% of users this year are expecting TikTok to inspire their gift ideas, which is crazy. So especially the fact that it's only Q1 right now, things like Valentine's Day and all these different holidays and events coming up in the future, there's going to be a massive opportunity for brands to inspire people to buy their products as gifts this year, which again is just going to be great from a marketing perspective and really lowering down your cost per acquisition, which again leads me into number eight, which is the hashtag TikTok made me buy it has nearly 9 billion views to this point. So not only is it crazy from a quantity, just a sheer numbers perspective, it's going to be giving brands amazing ideas in terms of what style of content that they can use to obviously advertise their product and service, especially on TikTok. Okay, so this brings us to number 10, the final stat, which is actually over 37% of people in the United States who are using a cell phone are accessing TikTok at least one time a month, right? Which is absolutely mind-blowing, and it's pretty crazy to think that nearly 40% of people in the United States that are using a cell phone are accessing TikTok every single month. So you really need to be starting to think, okay, all this attention is starting to go towards this platform. Why are we not going to start to utilize this as another form of traffic for our brand? So if you're not going to start to believe in TikTok, I think you're going to get left behind as we move on into 2022. Okay, guys, so let's go ahead and switch gears a little bit and go ahead and start talking about content, because if we're talking about TikTok, we need to talk and focus on content, because that's the number one thing on this platform, and that's how you're going to succeed, even from a branding or advertiser's perspective. The main thing to focus on, as opposed to Facebook and Instagram, is that the content on there tends to be a little bit more polished and a little bit more branded, as opposed to TikTok, right? We're really focusing on user-generated content, really behind the scenes, things like that. We're really bringing people in and building a community still, right? And really not focusing on these higher end style of content. Again, this UGC really shot with your iPhone style of content is what we're seeing tends to work best. Another thing to be thinking about as well is the fact that on TikTok, they're using content-based delivery as opposed to Instagram, which is really focused on following-based delivery. They're kind of sort of switching it up, especially on the reel side of things. But on TikTok, essentially everyone has the same opportunity to go viral, right? So that's why it doesn't matter if you have a small account, you have a massive account, you have a massive following on Instagram and Facebook. I think TikTok is sort of the even playing field where a lot of people can make that jump. So on that note, let's go over 5 quick benefits to this style of content-based algorithm delivery. Number one is going to be the ability to reach a huge audience organically, right? And this is awesome. As I said before, so long as your content is on point, you're going to have the ability to get in front of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, if not literally millions of people, just through organic content to your brand every single month. Number two is going to be the ability to drive traffic to your other social media platforms through repurposed content, right? Which is awesome, because when you create awesome styles of TikToks, you can actually repurpose them and put them back on Facebook and Instagram. And it's actually going to help you really grow organically there as well. Unfortunately, what we've seen is that you actually can't repurpose Facebook and Instagram content back on TikTok generally. Sometimes you can, but 90% of the time it's not going to work well. So the ability to start really focusing on that TikTok style of content and then repurposing it for your other social media platforms is going to be sort of a win-win hack and actually allow you to grow both platforms at the same time. Number three is a real simple one, right? More traffic, more reach means more sales for your brand. Okay, so the fourth benefit to this algorithm content style delivery is going to be a simple one, right? It's the fact that you don't need to overthink this type of content that your brand or your personal brand is putting out on a day-to-day basis, right? It needs to be fun, not overly produced, shot easy with an iPhone, and so long you're following the trends, 90% of the time, you're going to win on TikTok. And finally, number five is going to be the opportunity to build a real community with your style of content, right? What tends to win on TikTok really tends to be unique styles of content, bringing people behind the scenes, seeing how your brand works, showing transitions in terms of where you guys once were, where you guys are now, as well as educational content. So there's the ability to make a real community using tons of style of content, and it's going to allow you to really open up your creative side, and again, allow you to really start repurposing a lot of this content as well. So in the next part of the video, I'm going to go over and show you the top performing ad angles that we've used in the past for our clients on TikTok. So generally, guys, like I said, all of these videos and all of these ad angles are super easy to film. Not only can you do it yourself quite simply, but you can direct team members, as well as even reaching out to just even like college kids to get these videos done quite cheaply and quite efficiently. And you can just continuously pump out creative. So these are some of the best performing ad angles that, like I mentioned, that we've used. And number one is actually just going to be unboxing videos, right? Super original, super OG, really nothing surprising there. Again, this is just going to give people an idea as to what they're actually ordering, right? And these are some of the ad angles that work really well, even as organic content. And then number two is actually going to be like demos and how-tos, right? So like if you have a clothing brand, showing people like, oh, how to style this certain shirt for, you know, the upcoming or coming months, look at our top 5 different styles, etc., etc. How-tos work really well. Number three is going to be reverse engineered stories, right? So sort of starting out with the outcome and then working your way backwards as to how you guys got there. And then even like behind the scenes and like customer experience videos, those tend to work extremely well in terms of building that relationship and that community, like I mentioned before. And you guys might be thinking, okay, it's great to see these type of ad angles, but where can we go ahead and actually see ad creative examples? Well, that's a good question, and we're going to dive right into one of the most powerful tools I think TikTok has to offer, and it's actually going to be TikTok's creative marketplace. Okay, guys, so this is the TikTok Creative Center, and this is one of the most cool tools I've seen in a long time when it comes to marketing. And again, it's really awesome to the fact that to see that TikTok is creating it natively within the platform. I think they're doing this to really try and compete with Facebook and Instagram at this point in terms of marketing. But anyways, let's hop on into it and kind of explain to you how this works, why it's so important for you as a brand owner, an advertiser, and basically anyone that wants to succeed on TikTok. So there's going to be 4 different areas here and 4 different sort of quote unquote tools. And then within here, there's going to be different categories that we can actually run through, which is really cool. So number one, let's actually go ahead and run through inspiration. Inspiration is going to be where you can actually see trend creatives, top ads, the individual ads themselves, which is really cool. Facebook has what's called the Facebook ad library, and you can normally actually search things by keywords and certain brand and, you know, certain advertisers and pages, etc. But on this, you can actually search up any type of ad. You can see the top performing ads in different countries, etc. And you can see top performing by spend, return on ad spend, things like that, which is really, really cool. I don't think you can look at return on ad spend, but you can look at things like reach. So number one is actually going to be the trend discovery, and you can actually see the number one songs here within Canada. This is obviously where I live, but you can search it up by any country. You can search up in the last 7 days and the last 30 days as well, which is super cool. Then you have the hashtag side of things, which is awesome because again, not only can you search up things by the country, you can search up things by the industry, right? So if you wanted to say, okay, let's say we own a cosmetics brand, TikTok is always expanding as it is a newer ad platform. So things like this are always going to be coming in, but you can see beauty and personal care. Let's go ahead and look it up. These are the most popular hashtags over the last 30 days, right? Hair, skincare, hair talk, slime, self-care. And then what's really cool is that when you click on these, right, you can actually see related hashtags. So it's just really interesting to see, like, okay, now we can see not only how popular have these hashtags been over time, but we can see what are the related tags to them. So again, this is going to give you a lot of really good insight in terms of the SEO and the hashtags that you should be using, not only organically, right, but in your paid traffic as well, if possible. And then TikToks here, again, this is just going to give you examples as to what sort of TikToks are working right now on the organic side of things, which is really cool. You can see not only how many people have viewed them, etc., things like that. You can get a lot of insight in terms of looking at likes, comments, shares, etc. And then moving into top ads, which is really cool. Obviously, we just mentioned looking at a lot of the top performing ad angles, and this is simple, right? Like we just mentioned, we can come under the search bar here, search up actual ad keywords, right? And like we just mentioned, looking up an unboxing angle, we can see all the top unboxing ads over the last 7 days and the last 30 days. So from an advertiser's perspective and from a brand owner's perspective, this is so insanely powerful, and I don't want to dive too much into this. I don't want to take too much time here, guys, diving into this, but I think you guys get the point in how much you guys can really play around with this and get a lot of insights for your brands. Hopping into the other one of the other tools here is actually going to be insights. So again, these are just like cool little statistics that TikTok has in terms of gaming, e-commerce, right? Again, just giving you little tips, tutorials on how to actually shoot different ads and do different sort of transitions and things like that. Tools, it's really cool. TikTok has its own native editor on desktop, which is awesome. Obviously, it has it within the app itself, but it's really cool that you can actually come in and work on your desktop, get things done a little bit more efficiently in terms of a workflow, and still be editing TikToks within its own platform. And then they have the audio library, right? Because when we're advertising and using the paid traffic side of things, guys, obviously you can't be using copyrighted music. So they actually have the ability to say, okay, here's all the music that's actually guidelines, and it's free to use in terms of copyright, which is super important, obviously, when we're advertising. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and got a ton of insight as to why you're starting to make this transition towards TikTok. Again, I'm going to be making a ton of videos as the year goes on in terms of actually running through TikTok ad accounts, client performance, tips and tricks on not only how you guys can perform well on the organic side, but most importantly as well on the paid traffic side. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to go ahead and end things off here. Please go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe, all that YouTube jazz, and I will see you guys in the next video.